true.
Today's show, you saw the title. We have hit the depths. We've plumbed the depths of weird stuff on Disney Plus. Also, I wanted to watch Malcolm in the Middle. Life is Unfair. So
Some things are stranger than others.
It's stuff on Hulu. If you're American, it's on Disney Plus. You can find it now. That's the connection. Jordan, life is unfair.
Life's still unfair.
You know, I can call back later.
Come on, Dewey, you've seen this like 1,000 times. Undergrowth.
Yeah, I look different. But hey, everything about me is different. I have a girlfriend. And the best thing in the whole world, my daughter Leah.
Dad, quit it.
My life is fantastic now. All I have to do is stay completely away from my family.
We just found out that Malcolm has been intentionally hiding himself from this family for years.
I think we all knew Malcolm would eventually betray us. By comparison, Reese looks pretty good. This family's non-stop antisocial behavior and mindless, myopic priorities are toxic to me!
Can I at least give you a hug?
Not physically.
You have to make peace with your family.
It's not just mom and dad, it's so much worse with my brothers.
You have brothers.
Life's still unfair. Jordan, what did you think of Malcolm in the Middle? Life is unfair. Still unfair. Life is still unfair. Beyond the fact that this was definitely a movie and is very obviously produced by Bryan Cranston.
Well, yeah, it was. According to Wikipedia, project had been pitched as a 2-hour movie.
Yep, it was a movie,
and then it was split into the episodes. So yeah, it definitely reads as a movie. There's points where the episodes don't so much end as they just kind of stop.
Just kind of stop.
As for the story itself, it again reads as a movie, and because it reads it
wildly uneven.
Because it reads as a movie, it treats the characterizations of characters as if it was a movie. So even more so than the thing with, and this was sort of a thing that I came to realize, with the show, it's an ensemble. And so you really feel like you're getting character depth from all of the characters because there's a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of opportunity for at least for the family, I should say. There's character specific episodes.
Yes.
Whereas knowing that this was supposed to be a movie,
don't have time for that.
You don't have time for that. And so it's really a Malcolm / his daughter movie.
See, I completely disagree. To me, it is such. Yes, its main issue is it's such a confused mess of ideas.
If you let me finish, you can tell that the inception of this movie is that it is a Malcolm and his daughter movie.
Oh, Inception.
Which has been co-opted by Bryan Cranston.
Oh, absolutely. He's got scenes in the show that are his whole he's on LSD or whatever drugs, and he's talking with his evil half or whatever. It goes on for
is so
long.
Unbelievably long.
It's so long. It's so long. And it's so made worse by the fact that there's only 4 episodes, so you're just kind of wasting an episode of of Bryan Cranston talking to himself. And it doesn't go anywhere.
If I was to give this one criticism, only one criticism, I have more.
I have a
bunch. If I was to give it one criticism, the major criticism that I would give it is the minute that it stopped being a movie, it should have been 8 episodes.
Yes, I agree. Yes, 4 episodes is not enough.
It's not enough
to do anything
and
with anyone.
I feel like 8 episodes minimum would have at least given you a little bit more time to get more in depth with more of the characters. Then, like, the thing is that the scene with Hal on drugs talking to himself, is funny in a regular episode
Of
of
Malcolm
TV.
in the Middle. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That's a great way to put it. Yes, in a regular episode of Malcolm in the Middle, having an entire episode dedicated to Hal and his insecurities that culminates in him doing drugs and having this. The scene in and of itself is not unfunny. It's a funny
No.
scene. But to be fair, it's one of like many. Like that's the second. Like there's a scene earlier with Hal with him and someone else that just
Right.
goes
And
on
and
forever.
and what I'm saying is if this had been like an 8 episode thing instead of 4, then each of those scenes would have been in a separate episode,
Yes.
theoretically, in terms of
And it's
pacing.
at the
Um,
expense of so many other, not even
and
like side characters. Reese, you said something excellent where I was like, where I said, the only character who gets, and even Malcolm gets sidelined in this show
Malcolm gets sidelined a lot.
until like the last episode.
Hal takes over a lot, and again, it comes down to the fact that this is a problem with the fact that it was written as a movie,
It's written by a
and
movie that was
so
clearly partially written by Bryan Cranston.
sure,
Very obviously
but my
partially written by
but
Bryan Cranston.
but my point is that it was written as a
Yes.
movie, and so it in terms of pacing, in terms of everything that
Oh yeah, the
stakes,
pacing is
in terms of
bad.
like the fact that that's why you have in the spoiler, that's why in the 4th episode you have a scene where it's just dozens of cameos, is because that's not a show, that's a movie. That
Yeah,
happens in a movie.
yeah,
You do that
exactly.
in the movie version of the
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
You have the scene where dozens of characters that were in the show up, and it doesn't really matter because it's not
The
it's
trailer gives you the impression that this is about Malcolm trying to avoid his family. It's that for maybe an episode and a half, and then the rest of it is either Bryan Cranston or it's characters that have plot lines that do nothing and go nowhere. Like
I
the
I would
only character who gets anything to do besides Hal is Francis. I said at least Francis gets to do something, and you responded with, "You mean something?"
he gets to do something,
He
like
gets to do
single
something
something. He's obsessed with his mother's list. That's what he gets to do.
but it's a funny joke that totally
It's
works.
funny. It works.
My favorite moment in
It's
this
funny, and it works in a show.
right, my favorite moment in this episode is Piyama. Like the show is at its best when you get to see character growth, when you get to see the characters and how they've grown and changed since you've last seen them. So like one of my favorite moments is when Francis goes to Piyama and he's trying to be like classic Francis, and you can tell he's just not like that anymore. And Piyama
Yeah.
is like, she's like, yeah, we're eighth on my mom's list, and here's all the reasons why. And Piyama just responds with, it's fair enough.
So
I understand why we're so low. The other stuff are kind of more important. I get it. I understand. And that's funny. That's a funny joke. I enjoyed that because I was like, that shows that these characters have grown and they have changed.
Oh, I mean, one of the ways which shows that the characters have grown and changed is the part where Lois is freaking out about the anniversary party or whatever, and they're all like, "You need to this isn't helping anything. You need to calm down." And she's like, "I realize this isn't helping anything. This is just calming my anxieties about it all. I don't need you guys to actually care. Just please just shut up and do what I'm
Right, right.
asking you and go with it."
There's a great moment where
And they all just sort of shrug and are like, "Okay, tell us
yeah,
what you want us to do."
fair enough. Yeah, no, there's another great moment that's like that where her and
Um,
Francis have an honest to god moment where Francis was like, "You didn't give a shit about the fact that we were having a kid, and that hurt my feelings." And Lois responds with, "I'm sorry. That's my bad. I'm a little stressed out right now, and I promise you, when I have a moment, I will be
It
appropriately
is on my
happy for you."
list.
But
It is on my list. It's just lower on my list
yeah,
currently.
I enjoy.
The,
I
the-
hate Reese, man. I hate what they
So,
did with Reese. It's
okay.
such character assassination. It
so
bothers
so
me to no end.
before you get to that, um, there's a few things that I kind of noticed looking back on it retroactively. Um, One, the original Malcolm in the Middle was very much the show was very much the tale of two stories, which was always the family and not Reese.
Francis.
Francis, thank you. And occasionally the bubbles would intertwine, but the regular status quo was that there was always the two separate
Yeah, there's an
things.
A story and a B
Um,
story in most
and
episodes.
and so, well, not even just that there's an A story and a B story, but just the nature of their
Right. A story
world.
was
That's what it is.
usually Malcolm
But
and the
so
family, and then the B story was Francis.
right. But
Almost
I'm just
always.
saying that's their in terms of their family dynamic. That's their fine family dynamic.
Yeah.
Is there always appears to be one which is on the outside, and so this movie it's kind of a parallel to that where and it's sort of interesting in that way where yeah it's very much an A story and a B story of the A story is the wedding,
The reunion.
not the wedding,
Not
reunion,
the reunion. The
anniversary.
anniversary. Yeah, but it doesn't work. It
And
doesn't
then
work because it just makes.
let me finish. And then the B story is Malcolm, his girlfriend, and his daughter.
Yeah.
And they're let me finish. And they're and like him trying to avoid them and all of that. And the reason it doesn't work is because there's only 4 episodes.
Yes.
Because you're trying to squish it all into this tight little time frame, you needed more episodes where like Malcolm and the daughter are like they're trying to convince Malcolm to go back and like we're seeing flashbacks of
But
different things that happen in the
they
meantime, which show let me finish, which show why he doesn't want to go back. More than like a quick scene here or a quick scene there.
they
We really need to engage with that, and they don't have the time to do that.
they
So that when he finally does get dragged to the party, it's underwhelming
they
and it doesn't
barely
work.
he barely like the trailers give you the impression that the whole show is him avoiding. He really he avoids the family for like he's barely in the show. He's like again most of the show
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
is just
He has become in terms of function of this show, he has become Francis.
yeah, but
And
not
and so
really.
like much like no, but I'm saying like much like how the actor who played Francis wasn't in a lot of the episodes. Now that has happened to Malcolm,
But he
which is bad
was.
when the show is about him.
He was in a lot of the episodes. He was in most of the episodes. It's just he was off in his own little bubble, but he was still in the. Whereas in this show, Malcolm isn't really in it, and yeah, he's the
I
main
know
character. It's
that's
called
what I'm
Malcolm in the
saying.
Middle, and he's barely in it. He's in it less than Francis was in the original. But
That's what I'm saying.
like yes, I would say
And I'm saying
I
that
would
has
say
everything to
comparing him to
that has
Francis in the
everything
original
to
does
that
Francis
has
in the original a disservice.
no, it doesn't because they are very similar.
No, not even
Yes,
remotely.
they are.
Francis is in that show almost every
Francis
single
leaves his
episode.
family and stays away because he hates his
No,
mother and his
but in
family.
terms of his functionality in the show, he's in the same amount
Malcolm
of the
stays
show.
away. Malcolm stays away because he hates his mother and his
But
family.
yeah, but
He has become
I'm not
Francis.
talking about story wise. I'm talking about functionality. It does a disservice to Francis in the original show because Francis is in that show just as much as all the other characters. And they're just not together.
No, he's not.
In this show Malcolm is like yeah again he the most he gets to do is in the first and the fourth episode.
Especially
That's
in the
it.
later seasons, once he fucking leaves Otto's place. No, he's barely in the show.
Okay, well, no, that's fair. Yeah, but to be fair, I'm not really counting the last season. But yes, yes, you're right. In the last season, he's barely in it because they don't know what to do with that character, and they just kind of shuffle him off.
And that's where I'm saying that's what Malcolm is.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. I would maybe compare him to later season Francis, but no, early season Francis, he's there like all the time. He's just not there. He's not physically with them, but he's in the show. He
Right, but
constantly
no,
cuts back to
that's
him
I'm more comparing him to season 5
yes.
Francis.
Okay. Yes. Later season Francis, you're right. They don't know what to do with that character.
And so I'm saying that's
And
what he is in this. And
they effectively write out Piyama for huge chunks of it because they don't know what to do with her. That's what she just leaves.
he's not even living with her. He's living in his own apartment.
No, there's a line. I was watching. I was there when you saw the episode. There's
but
a
there's a
line where he
scene-
says she's visiting her sister, or because her whatever is sick, and there's a bunch of lines explaining where she is. But yeah, she's all but written out of that show for huge chunks of it because again they don't know what to do with her or Francis. But anyway, yes, this suffers.
It's too short.
None of the characters get.
It's too short if it wants to be a show.
It's doing too many things. It's setting up new characters, which, according to Linwood Boomer, I think is the guy's name, the guy who wrote this and created it, they're not doing anymore.
Yeah,
So,
Linwood Boomer.
Linwood Boomer. According to him, they're doing no more. So approaching
I
it,
don't
whether or not
I
that is
don't
true or
believe
not,
that.
if we approach it from that sentiment, I don't believe it either, because why set up new characters? Why waste so much of this time is waste if you weren't gonna do any more of this, so much of this is wasted on the daughter. Like, I like the, don't get me wrong, I like the daughter. The daughter's funny. She's got a lot of funny jokes. She's got a lot of funny bits. This sounds like I don't like this. I actually like this quite a bit. Like, to be clear, I like this quite a bit. Like, I enjoy the fact that she also monologues, and sometimes she will interrupt his monologue to, not monologues, she breaks the fourth wall like he does. And sometimes she'll interrupt his fourth wall breaks to do her fourth wall breaks, and he doesn't know that she can fourth wall break. So there's sometimes where she's fourth wall breaking while he's in the middle of fourth wall breaking. It's so fucking funny. I love how they interrupt their own fourth wall breaks in the last episode. Like, that shit's funny. I like his girlfriend. I think she's funny. I enjoy his attempts to be different. Like, I enjoy his active attempts to be different. He gets to be much. Like, it's the performance is coming from a place of remembering something you did a while ago but not quite getting it. Like, he does a lot of whining and yelling. That character
For Malcolm, you mean?
Malcolm, yeah. Malcolm annoyed me for most of this. Where
Yeah, well,
he just
the thing is
whined
that
and bitched and moaned and complained a whole time.
the thing is that he's supposed to, like, he's trying to play him like he's neurotic and like, that kind of thing, because that's what he was in the original show, but he comes across as whiny.
Yeah, but it dials it up to a degree that isn't what it was like. He's trying to
No,
recreate something.
it's because in this he doesn't come across as neurotic and crazy. He comes across as whiny.
Yes, I agree.
Whereas
I
in the
agree.
original show he was just
I
neurotic.
think, though, it's because in the original show, that was just Frankie Muniz. That's just what he was like. And I think in this, he's trying to recapture a version of himself that he just isn't. And it's whereas, to contrast that, as much as we keep giving Bryan Cranston shit, he slides into Hal seamlessly.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it is crazy.
And so does Lois.
So does Lois.
Francis.
Yeah, absolutely. And even Reese, when they my issue with Reese is Reese waffles between being too smart for that character and too self-aware to back to being like Reese. Like, you're like he's a frustrating character because he hasn't changed 1 ounce in 20 years.
Yeah,
but
my problem.
He has
my
moments
problem
where
with
he
Reese,
does. He seems like he knows what he is.
My problem with Reese is that, and this is kind of just a blanket problem, is him being a loser still doesn't work for me.
No, not even remotely.
I think that he should have been like, oh, the successful runner of like a plumber business or a car maintenance or something like that, something blue
blue collar that gives him an ounce of success,
which gives him success.
Agree.
And then once Malcolm comes back into the picture, then he should revert to who he was.
Yes.
Like, I think the point should be that and I think the point should be that as much as Malcolm feels like his worst self is who he is when he's around them, they all need to become their worst selves when he's around.
But that's my issue with this from a writing standpoint, is that's what they want to do, but for huge chunks of it, they're making the opposite case. Like, because they're trying to be, Malcolm's trying to be like, no, like, there's a bit that I thought was funny where Malcolm is like, think of them as the full moon and we're werewolves and they make us bad, and when we're around them we're bad, and then like they're the worst people ever, like they're chaotic and crazy or whatever, and it just cuts to them and they're like putting stuff together, just having a normal conversation, a reasonable normal conversation, and the joke is no, they're perfectly normal, like they've evolved past this. But then it tries to be like at the end they all start arguing with each other, and it's like, no, when we're around each other we fight each other, and it's like, well, which is it? Which is it? You can't have it both ways.
Where I
unless
say
you make the point to have it both ways.
That's where I say, okay, so if I'm fixing this, right, and I assume I've only got 4 episodes.
Other than making it 8 episodes.
That's how I would fix it. Is I would make it 8 episodes and I would stretch things out and change certain things. But assuming I have to have 4 episodes, how I would fix this is you really focus on the fact that you spend a little bit more time with Malcolm, the girlfriend, and the daughter before the secret comes out that the family and all that, right?
Yeah.
So that you see that he's not normal. He's just faking it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right? Like
exactly.
that's the point, is he's just faking it. And then meanwhile, I largely like what they've done with the family. The only thing that I would really change is I would make it where much like how Francis found his way in the world, Reese finds his way in the world, and he's normal,
Yeah, like I
more or
get why
less.
like you don't want to be like everyone's like, oh, why isn't he a professional chef? No, that's not Reese. Reese was never going to become
No,
that. That was never
but
going to
like
be Reese.
but like make him just a normal person,
Well, I was
right?
all
Like
in
like
on the like he like when they're doing the bit at the beginning and he's working with Hal fixing everything, and it
yeah, like
seems like
have him in
he has his
construction.
own level of like where he's like, no, I need this, I need to do this, I need to fix shit. That's who I am. I thought that was going to be his own version of neuroticism to indicate that he is also like Malcolm. But then when they pulled the rug, I went, no, he's just faking it. He's just like Reese. He's just Reese. That's boring. That's not interesting.
Yeah.
Having him
Like for
hide
me,
for the back, it just comes across like Justin Burfield couldn't find it, and so they didn't know what to do with that character because he spends so much of the back half of the series just kind of hiding, and it's not interesting,
yeah.
or exciting
Like
or
like
engaging.
like for me, like what I would have done is like I said, have him be like a fairly construction is another great one, which fits into that. Let me finish. And you have it where they're all successful, they're all happy, they're all doing well, and then they find out that Malcolm has the daughter. The whole whirlwind plays out basically the same. And like he shows up at the anniversary, and he's the instigator. He starts bringing them all down. He brings in the chaos, right? And the way that I would kind of button nose it is have it be where, yeah, he's the full moon that turns them into werewolves,
I,
right? Let me finish. And then
I would
his daughter is the silver bullet, which makes them all get along.
I
She's the glue.
number one change. He goes back episode 3, not episode 5. Um,
Four. There's not 5 episodes.
sorry, yes, episode 3. Sorry, really, yeah, episode 3. He goes back episode 3, not episode 4, and I would give Reese a kid, and have Reese's conflict instead of it being between him and the. Kelly is a completely unnecessary character. She doesn't add anything.
That's the girlfriend?
No, Kelly is the daughter, the sixth kid. I understand that she needs to exist because that Lois was pregnant at the end of it, but yeah,
I think she works as she is because she's just normal.
yeah, but
You
she
just make her.
isn't.
You just make her. She is. She's just normal.
But I wouldn't say because her thing is she says I like being a snitch. So I think she's just the anti version of what they were. So I think they're all the same. They're just the same in different ways. Now I would
I
have
don't
given
know.
Reese.
To me, the way that they play the character, she just comes across as a normal
I would
person.
have given I would have given Reese a kid and have Reese his relationship with the kid be similar to that of Lois and Reese, but like different. Where Reese
Yeah.
is
No, that doesn't work.
where Reese is Reese basically the whole conflict of revenge and going after each other, having that be amalgamous to Reese and his kid. To me that his bit with Kelly just didn't do anything for me because I was like they don't have enough of again, it just comes back to it's not long enough. They don't have enough of a relationship that's interesting to me. Like I did enjoy the
But
implication
it's not that they don't have enough of a relationship, because they do have a relationship. We just don't know anything
it's
about
just
it.
not, yeah, it just doesn't.
We don't know anything about it. The problem with her being in the show is like we needed to have Dewey there, not her.
Yeah.
Like because she's not from the original show, so we don't know her as a character.
Yeah,
We haven't
even
got
have
any.
Jamie there would
We
have
don't
been
have
like,
any. We don't have even Jamie. Like is enough of a character from the original show,
like
where
I
like
like the
to have
implication
him
that
there
that Jamie
would
and
be
Dewey
better.
basically that they became because I love the fact that they're the ones who are constantly picking at each other because their relationship would have been that of Reese and Malcolm or Reese and Francis, where it's like he's the one that they're closest because they live together longer as a person who could like obviously by the time he was a teenager or that he was like a preteen, the age that Dewey was when that show ended, Reese and Malcolm would have been gone. They would have been moved out. And
Yeah.
it's just a case of Reese is so infunctional as an adult. You're like, wait, so does he live with them? Why he? He's
Like
in
I
his
think it would have.
40s. Why is he concerned that his parents are gonna punish him? That doesn't make any
I think
sense.
I think it would have worked better for me. And this feeds into a point that I was disappointed. I was disappointed with how they treated, like how they did Dewey. Like functionally, I understand
It is the way it
why.
is. Yeah.
I get why, but like no, I think he should have been he should have been there. And I the reason why Reese does what he does in this movie, I think should have been because of Dewey screwing with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's the show.
Yeah.
That's like Dewey does something which then Reese like he screws with Reese, which causes Reese to suffer. In the later back end of the show, that was their dynamic.
Yeah. It's just
And
to,
so it would have been like Reese or Dewey would have come along and been like, oh, I heard that that Kelly did this, and then Reese would have wanted to do something to get back at her.
yeah. I don't know.
Right?
I
Like
just
to
think it
me
would have
that works
been
better.
it would have been more interesting for me to parallel Malcolm having a kid. I just think Reese having a kid would have made for a way more interesting if this
And
Kelly
I
Reese
just
dynamic was transferred to it's Reese and his son, and the son is just
no,
like
it,
Reese. I think that's
Reese having a kid doesn't work for me. He's not. I he no
he's
no.
absolutely the guy.
If anything, I would have made it where I would have maybe changed it where instead, um, Kelly is still there, but like Francis already has a kid, which is like older, is not
Yeah,
just getting
but
pregnant.
to me, Francis having a kid, he's also interesting. But to me, giving Reese a kid, and Reese is absolutely the kind of
No,
he would
I don't.
absolutely him having a whoopsie with a kid with a woman who didn't give a shit about him. I mean, it happened to him multiple times in the course of the original show. Him having like an 8-year-old, like maybe not a teenager, maybe like an 8-year-old or like a 9-year-old kid.
I just don't. I don't believe that any woman would sleep with him. He's the character that his fake mail order bride kept giving him excuses about how there's
Well,
a waiting period
he's got
before they could have sex,
he makes a
and he
reference.
believes it.
He makes a reference to his failed marriages and his failed wives. So no, it's he's like absolutely the exact kind of guy who would be dumb enough to not wrap it in before he tapped it. Yeah, absolutely, him having having a child out of wedlock
I
and having
suppose
it where it's like
the one way where I see it where it works is it's like he shows up. Reese shows up to like help plan the party or whatever, and then like the party it's the last episode, and Reese's son shows up and is like, yeah, Dad forgot to invite me.
no. See, for me,
Yeah, he's a neglectful absentee
see
dad.
for me, no, you no. See, that doesn't. For me, you do it where
To me, that's the
basically
only way it works.
basically
That's
the Kelly
only
character
kind of father I see him
the
being.
Kelly character. Well, yeah, but that's what makes it funny. Is well for me anyways. You're subverting you're subverting expectations. So yes, the obvious expectation is that I just think it's funny when one of them is Lois. One of them has become that's the thing that's missing from this for me.
Yeah, that's where for me it would have been funnier if that's Francis.
I don't disagree that it's also funny if it's Francis, but I don't disagree. I don't disagree that that would have worked with Francis as well. It would. It would absolutely work with Francis. But I'm just working with the dynamics that already exist in the show, and I just
Like I would have made
Kelly's
it where
character
Francis.
does nothing for me, and
I would have
want to
made
get
it
rid
where,
of her.
and this would have. But this again, this is under this is
Or
under
them.
the
Sorry, not
if
her.
I if
Them. Want to write
this
them
is
out.
this is under the if it was like 8 or even 10 episodes long and we had more real estate. But like if we did, yeah, it absolutely for me is funnier if Francis ends up being just like Lois and then Piama
Beyond.
and ends up being like Hal.
Like my thing is, I want to change basically the conflict of the prank war between Kelly and Reese. I would like a storyline where Reese is trying to participate in this with his, I don't know, son, daughter, non-binary kid, whatever. And Reese has to learn that he can't be that anymore because he's an adult now. My biggest thing with Reese is that there's moments where he's self-aware of the fact that he's an adult now and he shouldn't be doing this, but the show never does anything with that. It never does anything with him. To be like, the fact that everyone else in his family is a more or less functional adult and he's not Nobody's discussing that or talking about that or addressing that or doing anything.
Because
Again,
there's no time.
why is he afraid of his parents when he's a 40-year-old man?
I mean, I understand why he's afraid of Lois. Have
But
you
no,
met Lois?
he's afraid of them in this. He's acting like he's a teenager, and there's no reference to that. The fact that he's acting like the implication is
Yeah,
that he
because
lives with them still.
because there's 4 episodes.
I know.
There's not enough time.
He's the
It's-
character
they need.
I take the most issue, and that's not even mentioning.
As for your story idea, I like your story idea. I just don't think it works with him as a father.
No, but it's the idea is that he's a shit dad. Like it's
Right,
like,
but again, the
gives him
reason why it doesn't work for me is because of how they've portrayed him. He's still a gigantic man child. So the idea that, like, you're right, is he living with his child at his parents' house?
yeah, but that to me that worked with Reese in the sense that no,
But that's where
you could
like,
believe that he would
if we
accidentally knock
if we
a
had
woman
like
up.
8 episodes or like 10 episodes, then we could have an episode where we see he lives at his sad little single person apartment.
Yeah,
Where it's
like,
sad
you're
and
not
it's just
wrong.
him
Like,
and his
if
kid.
Reese
But
showed up,
with what we have in this show, it doesn't fit.
I will acknowledge that if Reese showed up in the show and he had a kid and they didn't explain it, it would be a tad weird. But also by that same token, they don't do anything with Reese. They don't do
just
anything
going off
with him
of
to
what
do
we
it.
just going off of what we get from this show. That story doesn't work.
I disagree. But to be fair,
It doesn't work with this version of Reese.
To be fair,
The version of Reese who is still taking embarrassing videos of his father being humiliated and selling that on the internet.
oh, absolutely.
No,
Yeah, no, I do. But the thing is, you're talking about
work.
You're talking about Reese being a father. I'm talking about him being a deadbeat dad who knocked a girl up. And the kid got dropped off on his doorstep. Yes, that is absolutely this version of Reese. It is but it's not believable in the constraints.
Right, but then you're talking
have.
about him having this nuanced prank battle with his son, and I'm just like, no.
No.
To me, that doesn't work.
There's no nuance to it. The nuance is that at the end of it, he learns a lesson, but he's Reese. He doesn't. To
me, that doesn't work.
They've put Reese in this position of being nothing. He's nothing. He's nothing in this. So there's nothing to do with him. So you couldn't fix him because there's nothing. No one gets to be a character. Malcolm barely gets to be a character in this because again, all of the characterization goes to Hal.
Malcolm's character essentially sums up to this. He's traumatized by his parents, and he is afraid that he will become them.
Yeah, he is traumatized by the expectation that he is going to be president, and he has held on to that expectation for
Which is
20
put
years.
on him by his parents. So, like I said, he's traumatized by his
Well,
parents.
it sounds like they maintained that expectation when he was in. It wasn't just that she said it the one time.
Exactly.
It
Traumatized
like,
by his parents.
It sounds like she continued to say it and then it was like, that was just a plan. Well, yeah, it was a plan you gave him, and then you set him up. But yeah, no one else in this gets to be a character. Like, there's people getting offended by shit in this, and it's like, they're not enough of a character to give. Like, I did it. I fell into the trap. Like people didn't like Stu. Oh my God, you've got me calling him Stewie. People got upset with Stevie being gay in this, and me and Jordan had the discussion that we'll spare you now. But the short version of it is, he's not enough of a character in this for it to matter. Like, I understand why like for me we came down to it's the look. It's his look. It's the way he looks, and that's all the characters are in this.
That sounds so bad.
But he looks like it's not.
So
even
when you say it out loud like that, it's his
fashion.
That's not necessarily the tactful way that I would have chosen to word that.
He's got the look of a typical what a right winger's idea of a leftist would look like. Is how I would put it.
I would say he looks like a stereotype.
Yes, he looks like this. Well, yeah, he looks like the stereotype of a leftist, of what right-leaning people think
Of an extreme leftist type person.
Yeah, like I gotta go protest the whatever. Like, and that facilitates a gag where yes, he is in a relationship with a man and they've got a child. And it makes people roll their eyes in a way that is unnecessary because who cares who he's in a relationship with? And also, it facilitates jokes that are funny. Like, there's jokes in the 4th episode involving the husband that are funny. Like, I love the bit at the end where what's his face, Stevie's parents are making him talk for them, and the husband's like, no, 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 no. Or I like the bit where they're doing the wedding video, and as a reference to his speech that in that one episode, they speed up his and cut
Yeah,
together him
yeah,
his,
yeah,
his
yeah.
that's and the
Lois sped it up.
the husband is just dying laughing. That's funny. But like I fucking hate the thruple. I hate it.
Yeah,
I
again,
hate it.
I'm
It's
not
such a
gonna, I'm
dumb
not
fucking
gonna,
joke.
I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about that. All I'm gonna say is, yeah, the joke that they're such antisocial losers like they were in elementary school. They're such antisocial losers that the only way they could have a kid is if the three of them came together and made one.
Right? Jordan said
Is
he doesn't read it as they're a thruple. I disagree. They're
Oh no,
absolutely a thruple.
I read it as they're a thruple. I read it as they're an asexual thruple of three loser nerds who couldn't get anyone
Oh,
and
okay,
resigned themselves to being together.
Okay, so that's an interesting way to put it. I never thought of it that way. So you're saying they are absolutely a thruple and that they are definitely together dating, but they just don't do anything sexual.
They don't do it. They literally used science and made a baby.
Because I'm just like the one guy.
Because
Dabney,
the point,
he looked gay as hell.
Like,
if he's not gay, he's metro as fuck.
Because like they're the character. They were the Krellborns.
Yeah,
and the
no,
point
I
of the
know. No, I get it, but to me,
the point of the Krellborns is that they're antisocial losers
I get what you're
who
saying.
can't be with regular society.
I get what you're saying, but to me, they read as they're supposed to be. They've been doing stuff. Like they read that way in that scene to me, where I was like, they seem like it's. But to me that's supposed to be the joke. Is you're supposed to be like, oh, they're a throuple. That's weird, and that it's just so lazy. It's like, of course, the guys who were losers in high school, pretending that they're not in a couple situation, and they've just made. Of course, they made a kid together because they're weird. Like it's just not. It's not interesting. It's like, oh, it's the laziest, most obvious version of that joke you could possibly do.
But to be fair,
that was why I went.
That episode is just filled with like, oh, it's just people that.
But some of them are effective. That's what's frustrating.
Why would Lois and Hal invite this person?
But
that was more my thing as I watched that scene with the throuple or Francis's old cadets.
Yeah, from
that he went to
school,
from military school that he ran
Jesus.
away from.
You know, he ran away from.
I know.
They stayed.
That's my no. But that's my point. Is he ran away from that school, and yet his parents are inviting them.
Well, I think
some reason.
One of the guys who's there, I'm pretty sure he's the one who he went to Alaska with. I think.
Okay,
but still,
his parents never met them.
That's fair. No, that's true. I'm pretty sure the guy.
There's one or two episodes where Lois goes to the military school to see Francis, but it's not like she spent an inordinate amount of time with them, enough that 40 years later she would randomly invite them to her wedding anniversary party.
I'm pretty sure the guy who they went to do the mushrooms or the LSD, I think that's Francis's friend. I'm pretty sure. The one who that's why Hal recognized him. So like, it's not like they didn't interact, but no, but there's
right,
that
but
did
to invite them to your 40th anniversary is weird.
There was like when Olga showed up, that did get me a little bit. I was like, oh my god, it's Olga! I actually know.
Sure,
that's fun. And I believe she would have got invited to the anniversary because.
Or like, yeah, again, to go back to the throuple of it all, why are they there?
Yeah, they're the ones that went. Why? Well, maybe. Okay, perhaps because they're friends with. But Malcolm hasn't seen them in like 15 years.
That's just it.
But maybe because they're friends with Malcolm. I don't know. They're not the ones that made me go really. It was the military school guys that really made me go, why are they there? And
it was all of them.
They've been there and they're pre-gaming, and it's weird. The high school guys, I mean, at least they were probably like presumably in some form or another, have been over to like, even if it was like off screen, they're still friends of Malcolm's. So like perhaps they developed enough of a relationship over the years of coming over off screen. The military school guys, you're right, they would have never met the military school guys. The throuple I could at least justify. The military school guys, no, I'm with you. That doesn't make any sense.
The only one of the military ones that I could maybe see is like see okay maybe is I believe one of them because there was one of them that went there with Francis who was from their neighborhood, like they did
Yeah,
know
I'm pretty
him.
sure he's the one who he goes off to military school with. I think that's the one.
That's
Not
what
not
I'm
not not,
saying
not
is
military school. Sorry, Alaska. The guy who he goes to Alaska with.
yeah, I'm
I'm
pretty sure.
pretty
And
sure
so
he.
and so like them inviting him, I can see
And
because
then
like
he
they have
plus
they
one the other
that
two.
yeah he maybe plus one the other two
But
or something
Francis seems
or
surprised to see them. So like and he surely had to have been familiar with the guest list. So he seemed
yeah
surprised to
maybe
see them there.
to be fair, maybe they're gate crashing. They heard there was a party.
I mean that is possible. It apparently is a big party. Yeah. As for Dewey, the thing about Dewey. Okay, here's my question for Dewey. Would it have been better? Like, is it the actor?
No, I think the actor does a fine job because here's what I'll say. Because it's like what
15 years.
in universe 15 years
15
no
years. Yeah.
in universe it's
Yeah.
15 years
That's what.
because isn't Malcolm like 40 now?
He says it's been 15. It's been 15 years. They say
Okay,
it's been
well,
15 years.
so it's been 15 years. um I don't know the in the real world. I don't know what Dewey looks like when he's grown up,
Yeah.
the actor.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
don't know what
Fair.
the actual
His
human
face shape
being.
it's pretty uncanny for the stuff he gets to do. He
So
does kind of nail it at certain points. I'm like,
right. But my point is that like in real life, like actor
yeah.
wise, I don't know what my brain, what I'm picturing it. I don't know what an older Dewey looks like. So he looks good enough to
Yeah,
me,
not everyone looks exactly the
right?
same as
Like
they were when they were a
he
kid.
he
It happens.
looks close enough to what the original one looks like that no, for me it's not the actor.
It's weird that
I
they do have scenes together. That's what's weird.
I want him to be there, not just on a screen. I
It,
don't like that he's just on a screen.
it's a bizarre choice considering he has scenes where they're together. Like if it was always on the screen, it would be different for me because then be like the excuse is that they wanted to get Eric Persullivan up until the last possible moment, and the reason why Dewey is on screen in script is so that they could get him to be in it, and he wouldn't have had to participate and be there, and he could just be on screen. That's why that is the way it is.
Yeah,
But
on the little tablet or whatever.
but like maybe once you've recasted at that point, accept that he's not coming back and write scenes where they're together. Like they're like, oh, we wanted to make it so what would have happened if 11th hour you're about to film and Eric Persullivan says, yeah, I'm in. Are you gonna fire him and bring in Eric Persullivan and just do all of the cat scenes? Like, it's weird that they kept him being on screen up until the 11th hour when they knew he wasn't going to come back. And yes, the show is weaker for it. Like
What I would have done.
Jamie even shows up in the final episode in person.
What
It's weird that
what
Dewey doesn't.
what I would have done. And this is a situation where you get to have your cake and eat it too. I would have never had him be on the tablet at all. And the solution that I would have written is you hire this new guy just right from the beginning, right? As soon as the original actor was like, no, you hire the new guy, you have him shoot all the scenes so he's actually there at the party. He's like, going through it, doing everything. And then if the original guy last minute is like, oh, actually, I changed my mind. I do want to show up. Then you write a scene where basically the original actor Dewey shows up and is like, don't worry, Jeff, I actually could make it to the party.
That's
Like
so funny.
it's his stunt double that he's hired to be there for him at the party, so he could go in, and then you don't, and then if the original guy couldn't come back, you just don't do that scene, and that was Dewey the entire time.
I don't have an issue with him just because of the nature of what this is. Maybe
I do from a story standpoint. There has to like fucking Malcolm for not wanting to go.
No.
to this thing.
Hold on. Let me finish.
But Dewey can't be bothered to show up.
Let me finish. It's not that he's on the screens that I'm bothered by, for most of it. Like when like earlier in the episodes where they're like he's on tour.
Okay, fair. I should say at the actual party.
At the actual party, no, you're right. What the fuck? They're giving Malcolm shit, and Dewey gets away with it. He can't fly in. He's supposedly this rich piano player. He can't be bothered to fly in for an evening, do an appearance. Come
even
on.
Jamie ran away from the
No,
military.
that's what I'm saying. Even
so he
Jamie
could be
showed
there.
up, right? Jamie showed up. You can't be bothered to show. No, yeah, I get you there. And it's made all the more weird by the fact that he is in like flashback scenes. Like he's there in person with them in these scenes. So if it's a matter of like not getting the actor, you can get the actor for like the one day. And like he's already not gonna be there, so rewrite it so he's at the fucking party. It doesn't make. You're right. It doesn't make sense that he's not at the party. So anyway, this has gone very long.
Like that. If I'm being honest, that bothers me more than Reese.
Yeah, I can see that's fair. I can see that. I think it's because Reese is in more of this that it's more noticeable and more in my face. But I don't think that's unfair. And we've been really harsh, and it's only because I love Malcolm in the Middle so much that I wish this was better. I wanted to give you guys better news.
Overall, it's fun for what it is.
It's a fun time. I did see someone say this, and this sentiment I agree with. Even at its worst, this is what reunions should be.
Yeah.
Like, don't do a shitty sit-down interview where you can't even be bothered to sing the songs Hannah Montana. Like, this is what people want. Like, they want the original actors back. They want, like, this is, if anything should be a slop comedy or cameo fest, this should be that. Like, that final episode absolutely should be wall-to-wall people you recognize. That's what
absolutely.
It should be. That's what it should be. Like, yeah, I know I don't want a sit-down interview where you interview Bryan Cranston or Frankie Muniz, and he says the same anecdotes you've heard for the 100th time.
Well, I mean, I'll take that as well as this,
right? But
I don't want that to just exist and not get this.
But this first,
yeah,
this first, and more importantly, this. Oh, like this first, and then if you have the money for that, but if you only have the money for one, this.
Yeah, like basically, like if you were gonna make like a DVD. Where you had to put things, this is the thing you're selling, and that's the bonus.
Yeah, that's
bonus
the bonus. That's the bonus content. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's not the main thing, but it's there as well. It's on the bonus.
It's nice to have the director's commentary.
Right, exactly. Exactly. But yeah, no, I mean, look, man, I'm not gonna lie to you and say I don't want to see more of this. But I would like to see it more developed and more thought out. I think this would be worse. The thing is, this would be worse if it wasn't written by the original guy, just first and foremost. Yeah. Like, it would be worse. The only thing that makes this salvageable is that it's written by the original guy.
But, yeah, I think that this is an acceptable backdoor pilot for a new show, which focuses on the life of Malcolm and the daughter and the girlfriend.
I just don't think that's.
And then you can
happen.
occasionally bring the other people back in as cameos, as like special episodes, stuff like that. But I don't think it'll ever happen. But I think this is a great example of it. It's a great backdoor pilot.
I think this would have been. Look, man, hindsight being 2020. This thing's biggest weakness is that it's a 4-episode show and not a 2-hour movie. This would have been a far better 2-hour movie. A far better 2-hour movie, and you cut out all the shit that sets up for new shit unnecessarily.
I don't know. I would need to see it as a movie, but I don't think it. I think if I watch the 2-hour movie,
not if we took those 4 episodes and I'm talking. We have a 200-page screenplay, and we excise a lot. There's a lot of shit I'd cut out of this to make it a bit tighter.
Maybe with some edits, I could see it as a movie.
Not the way it is currently. No, it's been blown out. It's been blown out.
Edits.
Like
no, I think if anything, it needs to be blown into an 8-episode show.
It's a 2-hour movie. This is a 200-page script that's been blown out to be 4 episodes of a television show that I would shrink back down. There's nothing wrong with just doing a movie. Like there's nothing wrong with just doing a movie.
Again, or I would rewrite it and make it into 8 episodes.
Again, yeah, yes, that. Sure, but with the
Mostly
way
because if you're getting the original writer to come back, this is no
it
this is
doesn't need
not
to
a so
be
this is not a slight against the
Linwood Bloomer.
Linwood Bloomer. But if there's one thing that Marvel and Disney and all these other studios and things have taught me, um, movie writers don't always make great TV writers. TV writers don't always make great movie writers.
Yeah,
He,
but
he, he was a first and foremost, he comes from TV. This was TV. Stick with your roots and make it
but
TV.
this was very clearly a
Right.
screenplay for a
That's
movie.
what that's why I'm
That's what it should have
saying
remained.
that's why I'm saying if they were going to make it into a show, take the idea that you had for a movie, rewrite it so it's a show and make it 8 episodes.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it
but
should have been.
yeah, you're saying take it and make 8 scripts for 8 episodes of television. What I'm saying is the way it is. We don't make we keep this what it was originally. I'm talking about this version of it as it exists. Strip it down, make it back into a. This would have been better as a movie. This would have been much better as a movie. It would have.
I just don't think that it would have been. I don't think it would have been better as a movie, and I think there's a reason why it's not one.
Well, it's not one because they knew that they wouldn't sell it as a movie. They knew that they could sell it as a television show, and it wasn't until they knew that they could sell it as a short television miniseries that they sold it. Like they've been trying to sell this for a while, and it wasn't. I mean, there's a reason why it was a movie, and I just think the screenplay is bloated and. It's clearly a movie screenplay that's been turned into a television show, and I think this version of it is bad as a TV show. I don't think it's a great TV show. I think it's an okay movie that would have been great if we saw. Can you imagine if this came to theaters as a theatrical movie? And the problem is it has the budget and the production of a television show, but the script of a movie. So what I'm saying is we give it the production value and the budget of a movie and the script of a movie. And we cut. There's a lot of shit that would need to be cut and changed and rearranged for it to be put into a screenplay that works. Number one, you need to excise all of the shit involving Hal, all of it, get rid of it, and make it more about.
No, not all of it. I definitely think it needs to be trimmed down. Scenes need to be shorter. Scenes need to be more
Which they probably
streamlined.
were in the original version.
But
of this.
like,
I would
but
love
like
to see the
for-
original screenplay
but,
version of this.
but like for example, this is just the best example that I can think of. The scene when he goes and he's on the drugs. No, you don't need to completely get rid of that. There is absolutely a way to do that.
Yeah, that is funny. You just shorten it. You
make
shorten
it shorter
Yeah.
and you make it
But
more.
there needs to be more of a focus. It's I would love to see the original screenplay version of this script because there needs to be more focus on Malcolm. He's not focused on nearly enough. And if you want to transfer it and make it where she's here's what I will say. It does read a little bit like the original version of this where she was the main character.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it either needs
It
to
has that vibe.
focus on it being more about Malcolm, but no, it reads more like she was the focus.
'Cause there's
she was
so
the main
much of
character,
her-
and Malcolm was a secondary
Yes,
character,
it
just like
absolutely
the
reads
rest
that
of the family.
Because like a lot of her shit goes nowhere and does nothing. Like her storyline, she's got a storyline involving having a crush on some guy who ultimately talks her into and tries to talk her into sending her nudes that goes nowhere. All of her stuff involving the students at the school goes nowhere. It feels
It's a
like
real,
it's from a different screenplay, which it probably was.
It's a real girl meets world situation where it can't figure out what it wants to be about, the new character or the legacy character.
That's where I'm like, yeah. Yeah, but not just the
Anyways.
new character, but new characters, because Kelly's the same way as well. Kelly steals a lot of the main focus away from Malcolm, Malcolm doesn't have nearly enough focus in this. But
Yeah. Anyway,
that's
Malcolm in the Middle. Life still unfair.
Hey there, everybody. It's In-Car Justin here. Let me know down in the comments down below. Have you seen Malcolm in the Middle? Life is Still Unfair. What were your thoughts? What were you thinking? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did it work for you? Did it not work for you? Let me know what you're thinking down in the comments down below. In the meantime, if you'd like to see the full podcast, like the Scrum Hour, can't believe this is on Hulu or Disney Plus. That is great. Special didn't put that name for it. But anyway, click the box on the left. If you want to see the random video that YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy, click the box on the right. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We put new videos out 7 days a week, or you can just leave this video a like. That helps us out too. We'll see you all in the next video, everybody. Have a good day.